Hey y'all, so I posted a video the other day about how my mobility's improved on squats because of a daily routine that I've been doing, and I had a few people ask me, so, well, Ryan, what is that routine? Show us, we want to see what you're doing. So I'm going to do a video here of walking you through what I'm doing on a daily basis to help improve my mobility and flexibility. Now, a couple things here. One is I do this in the mornings, hence, you just wake up, barefoot, whatever, so you get the day started this way. Second, these are movements that have made a difference for me, so I would challenge you, find the things that help you with your range of motion, help you prevent injuries, and then just overall you can tell you've got some tightness. Figure those out, what they are specifically for you. Some of these that I do might be applicable, but again, this is a demonstration of what I do every morning, so check it out. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do some dynamic warm-up, and I'm going to start with the upper body and then we'll do lower body next. So I've got a band here. You can see I've got it sandwiched in the door, so you can do this essentially anywhere. So I'm going to take you through this, and this is going to start warming up my shoulders and upper body. So I start off with some basic rows here. I'm going to do about 12 repetitions of each one of these movements, 10 to 12. Nice and controlled, really feel the muscle contract, taking a full range of motion. So we're just starting with some rows here, okay? So then from there, I'm going to turn to the side, and now I'm going to do what I call like a side row and a press. So I'm warming up the shoulder from both angles, just like this. Again, full range of motion on all movements, trying to get a full stretch and a full contraction. I'm going to do about 10 or so of these on each side, okay? I'm just going to show you one side here just for time's sake. Okay, so after I've done that, I'm going to do these right here, call these internal rotations. Again, I'm coming full range of motion, each side, getting a good stretch. And I move based on the tension, so some of these movements I've got more of a stretch on the band than others, just based on feel and what my strength levels are. Okay, and then from here, I do external rotation. Okay, so coming all the way, full range of motion on that opposite shoulder, just like that. Okay, and the reason we're starting off with these dynamic movements is it warms the muscle up, it warms the joint up before we do static stretching. This helps get the blood in there and makes those stretches more effective. Not to mention, we're doing this in the morning, it's just going to help wake you up. Okay, so after I've done those, and again, I would go and do it on the other side. I'm not going to just for time's sake. So now what I'm doing is I'm facing the other way. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to call these external rotations. Again, I've got some tension on the bands, so I'm going out and rotating my shoulders. So I'll do 10 this way, and then I'll do 10 internal rotations. Same thing, just the opposite direction, again, with appropriate band tension. Okay, so for here, I step in a little bit, and I'm going to do these rotations right here. Okay, again, working that range of motion, I'm trying to keep my elbows high, really working on that rotator cuff, getting it warmed up. Okay, now from here, again, I'm stepping forward, getting a little bit more tension. I'm going to squat a little bit so you can see. I'm going to do presses, and I'm feeling a nice stretch in my shoulders, and I'm pushing through in full range of motion, just like that. Okay, the tension's behind me, so it's pulling my arms back. It's not above me, so I'm not really working the shoulders from a strength perspective. Again, range of motion. Okay. And then I'm going to come in here, I'm going to do front press. Okay, now this has some resistance, but again, it's not to the point of exhaustion. It's just getting those muscles nice and warmed up, just like that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come around again, and I'm facing the band. I'm going to come over here and do rotation. So I'm coming down, go up, and then down. And again, here I'm trying to keep those elbows up. And each time I'll come back a little bit more and really push in that range of motion. Okay? Just like that. Alright, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my band out of the door, and now I'm going to take these, I'm going to do pull aparts. Just like that. Okay? Just again, try to get those shoulders opening up, contracting the back. Okay? Do about 10 of these, 10 to 12 of these, just like that. Okay, and there's not a lot of tension on this band. It's not a heavy band. Okay, so now once I do that, I'm going to do over the head, behind the back, just like this. Now, I'm nice and opened up. I've gone through my dynamic motions, and this too is dynamic, but it does create a little bit more stretch. In fact, a lot of people call this exercise, this movement, shoulder dislocations for good reason. You certainly don't want to do these cold, and I certainly don't want to do these cold. Okay? So I'll do that. Okay, now, last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a doorway stretch. Let's see if I can open this up enough so you can see. So I'll do is I'll go against the doorway frame right here, and I'm just going to lean into it and get a good, nice stretch. Okay? Again, I'm going to bring my arms down, kind of like I'm doing a back squat. That's in my mind what I'm thinking about, trying to get my arms in that position, just pushing in. And I'm going to hold this for about 20 seconds. And this is the only static stretch I'm doing for my shoulders. The rest of it's been dynamic. Okay, so that is my upper body shoulder stretching mobility routine. Again, start with the dynamic to get things warmed up, and then I finish with the static stretch. Let's jump into lower body. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the lower body routine. Now, again, just like upper body, I'm going to start with the lower body dynamic warm-up. And so I changed the camera angle here, so hopefully you can see this. I'm going to start with leg swings, just like this. And I'm going to the outside. Again, this is getting my adductors, groin, whatever you want to call it, warmed up. And of course, I would do these for both sides, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to show you one side. So I do about 10 swings to the side, then I'm going to turn to the front and do 10 swings to the front. Again, trying to kick up. This gets those hamstrings, glutes warmed up. And you see I'm moving my shoulder too, so again, it gets that upper body moving, which is always a good thing. Okay, so I'm going to do about 10 of those. Now I'm going to do leg circles. So I'm going to go to the outside first, just because it's the one I started. Doesn't matter which one you start with. So we're going to do about 10 here, rotations. And then I'm going to go inside, okay? Again, 10, trying to get a full range of motion, just like that, okay? And then obviously I would go back and I would do the other leg next. Now I'm going to do kind of like a karate kick type of a back kick here. So I'm bringing my leg up, and then I'm coming out, and I'm going to rotate my knee out, okay? So one fluid motion just like that. Goal here, again, is to open up that adductor and help it get some blood in there, just like that. So coming up and out, and again, I rotate out. Now, these are the things that I do before I start a lower body session too. And if I'm going to do legs later on today, I'll do these same things again, but this is consistent every morning I'm doing these. Okay, so that's the leg part. Now I'm going to show you the second part of this phase. I'm going to reposition the camera. Okay. Obviously, you can see I'm on the floor. Now we're going to do some floor movements with our lower body. Now, you'll notice that a lot of these, most of these, are still dynamic movements, not static stretches, and this is by design. So, this next one I'm going to do is call this a cat-cow here. So I'm going to arch that lower back. I'm going to come up and then down, just like that. Squeezing my glutes. Full range of motion, whole time. Again, warming up that lower back and those hips, just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to do call this a frog sit. So I'm just going to come back here. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to spread my knees out to comfort so I can get a good stretch on those adductors again. And I'm just coming back. Again, I'm going to do about 10 to 12 of these, just like that. Okay. Now from here, I'll do is call these fire hydrants, okay? You can see why, right? Just like a dog. So again here, getting those hips warmed up. Doing 10 on each side. I'm just going to show you one side for time's sake, okay? Now, from here, let's sit on my duff. And now I'm going to do butterfly stretches, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to come here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly push those legs down for about a 5-second count with my elbows and good stretch, and then I'm going to come up. Again, this is a dynamic movement because we're moving, okay? So I'm feeling that in my glutes, or not my glutes, my adductors and groin, just like that. I'm also, besides pushing down my elbows, I'm leaning forward just a little bit, and that helps the lower back, okay? Feels that stretch there. So I'll do that 5 times, and on my last one, I'm gonna lean forward a little bit. Now this is a static stretch, and I'm gonna hold this for about a 10-second count. Again, pushing down my elbows, get that groin, those adductors stretched out, okay? Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay down, it's like that. I'm gonna pull both knees to the chest, okay? Again, I'm pulling my knees apart, feeling that stretch on the adductors and also on the hamstrings and glutes, okay? Doing both legs at the same time. Again, this is a static stretch. I'm gonna hold this for about 10, 12 seconds. All right, I'm gonna bring it down. I'm gonna do one leg at a time. Basically the same thing. This time I'm pulling the leg outside a little bit. Again, feeling that nice stretch there in the adductor, hamstring, just like this. Okay, I'll hold this for about 10 seconds. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep this hand on the floor. I'm gonna cross over and bring this to the outside, okay? I'm trying to touch my far toe, my far elbow on the ground, and keep this hand sturdy or stable on the ground. This is a good way to gauge my range of motion from one side to the next. This right side is a little stiffer for me, I notice. So obviously I'm gonna work it just a little bit more, and I'm gonna hold this for about 12 seconds. Okay, and again, I would do that on both sides, but for the sake of time, I'm just gonna show you the one side. So now the last thing I'm gonna do is what I call a hurdler stretch. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring one leg forward, keep this one leg back, and I'm just gonna lean into it. Again, feeling that nice stretch here in the groin, the adductor. I'm gonna bring it back in just like this. You can feel that stretch. Okay, I'm gonna hold this for about 12 seconds or so. You could go dynamic on this, but I like to just lean into it and feel the stretch. So again, I'm gonna do this for each leg in about 12 seconds, and I'm careful to make sure that I keep about the same distance between knee and leg on each side so I get a nice even stretch. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this was helpful. Again, a little longer format than I normally do, but I thought it was worthwhile to go through it all. Find the exercises and movements that you think is going to make the biggest impact for you. Thanks for watching. If you have questions on training, nutrition, feel free to shoot me a message. Leave it in the comments below. Like this video, share it with others, subscribe if you haven't already. More videos to come. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, keep making every day count.